It's the morning cryptos. It is day 81 of my 90-day challenge. And I'm beginning to feel like the old man of Bitcoin. Yes, indeedy. Yeah. Today, we're going to find out what the hell is going on. And to start, let's start the music. All right, so I found a really good YouTube video. You can also find them on Twitter. This guy, Crypto Investor, I just think did a great fucking job of explaining where Bitcoin is in the context of all the other financial instruments. And this guy's kind of like the total opposite of me in that I go into trance and I start flapping my lips, right? But this guy has actual content that has actual facts and stuff. It's really cool. Like, he's actually prepared it. He's actually done like a really professional presentation that, I mean, it's concise, it's precise. It's a TED Talk, essentially. It's 20 minutes, and it's worth every frickin' second of it. So I just wanted to recommend that to you guys before I got started, and just realize that I think there's a place for people like me, and I think there's a place for people like Crypto Investor. I think he's really got it, and he totally and completely nailed the whole BitConnect Ponzi scheme. And people, I will be talking about my experiences with the Ponzi schemes soon. I'm going to be going back and doing a retrospective and really looking at the hypnosis of why, like, BitConnect, the fact that BitConnect is doing so well at the moment, I mean, that's hypnosis, people. I mean, it is so clear to me that that is hypnosis, and people will go on camera and just swear that it's real and that they're really trading and that they really can give these returns, and it's just, it's so outrageous. And this guy kind of pops that, but in a really fair way. He doesn't just slam BitConnect or call people stupid, right? I mean, he really does a good job. So anyway, I highly recommend that. And he's also on Twitter. Go ahead and follow him, Crypto Investor. I guess his handle is @truth_investor. And I just followed him. And I'm going to start tweeting as well more. I have been slack in the tweeting department. So anyway, let's look at what the hell is going on in Bitcoin today. Just type in Bitcoin price, 57. All right, so we've had some return to glory. All right, future Bitcoin price 25,000 is conservative estimate, says Tommy Lee. I don't know who Tommy Lee is, but he's wearing a suit, so he must know what he's talking about. Healthy pullback. Bitcoin price dips back below 5,300. Well, that was 22 hours ago, and it's back to 57. So we've had our little correction and our bounce. Bitcoin price watch. Things are on the up, so nothing particularly earth-shattering there. Let's look at Bitcoin, and look at that. You see my little lines? I drew some lines. And we had this huge whisker or candle wick way down to 51, right? That's why if you're serious about trading, you have to put in buy stops way below, you know. But I'm not that sophisticated, and I don't know if I want to be that sophisticated. So I just bought me 20 bucks of Bitcoin yesterday, and I'll buy 20 bucks today. I'll buy less today because it's up, right? That's just what I've decided after 90 days of trying everything. The thing I did at the beginning, before I got involved with all the Ponzi schemes and all the crypto cranking and all the trading ideas and all the altcoins and all this stuff, was just to buy Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum. Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum. And you will do fine. All right, simple people. All right, so let's look at the 1 hour chart. And so we had this channel. I drew this channel and we dipped below the channel, but we're back, right? And look at where the support is. I could just draw this line a little farther. There's support there. And the resistance movement. Someone told me what to do to draw these lines better. What the hell was it? It was something. Yeah, I gotta find that. That was really helpful. Someone gave me a really helpful comment on how to draw the lines better, faster, and it's on one of my it's on one of my videos. Someone left a comment. It was great, and it's early in the morning, and I was gonna remember it last night. I should have wrote it down. But as soon as the coffee hits, I'll probably remember it or figure it out. All right, so Bitcoin's alive and kicking, people. And I still expect it to retrace again. See, we had kind of in the last pattern, we had this kind of regular retracement. Then we had another boost. And then that's when we had the next retracement. And then we had a sell-off. You know, so it doesn't ever get predictable, really. But the trend is your friend. It's going up, right? It's going up. Don't make it more complicated than it is. It's going up. And problem is with this line tool is the damn thing gets right in your way. Can I move this? Yeah, okay, good. Let's get that out of the frickin' way. That was the problem. Put it way down here where there's no action. How's that? Now I can draw me some lines. So anyway. That's what we're looking to break. And 6,000 obviously is the target. I mean, we hit 5. What's the big deal about 6, right? All right. So good morning, Bitcoin. So again, for those of you who don't know, I just go through the charts. I'm not an expert, but I go and I try to understand what's going on from the point of view of these are buyers and sellers. And the buyers and the sellers, the buyers think it's going up. The sellers think it's going down. This is their argument. This is their difference of opinion. And instead of fighting each other, we have something called a free market, where if you don't get your price, you don't sell it. If you get your price, you sell it. You have an agreement. And it's essentially buyers and sellers coming to agreements. So I think it's really hopeful. It's just a great agreement. And, you know, anyway, Bitcoin Cash, I don't know what it's going to do. Nobody does. But it's kind of holding its value around between 300 and 350-ish. And it's just hang out there. Okay. Then we got your baby. Then we got your Bitcoin, which you already did. Then we have Dash. And isn't it interesting? Dash is staying right in the little cage that I drew for it. But it's in this really pretty big, massive channel that's moving up. Zupa. Kazupa dupa, and here it is testing the bottom of the channel. So if you're thinking about Dash, the fundamentals are sound. They're getting ready to release Evolution, and they have a crack team that has literally fixed everything that Bitcoin has wrong with it. Do you know what I mean? This is like a better version of Bitcoin, but it hasn't reached mass adoption yet, and they're not done with their Evolution update and improvement process. I suspect when that happens, they will boost. So there are some fundamentals that are solid, and And again, Dash is staying in the line. We'll see. We'll see what happens today and tomorrow. Let's look at the quickie. 1 hours of Dash. I see it did dip below my line, but that's showing up as kind of a whisker or a candle, a wickster. Excuse me. And again, for those of you who are new, I just wake up, okay? I make my coffee, and I come in here and see what's going on. And I just started, basically, 90 days ago, sharing these videos. And sometimes I make more than one video a day, but lately I've been really busy, so yeah. I think it's a good practice just to start your day with something. And for me, this is kind of meditation, actually. A lot of people start the day with meditation. I do that actually before I get out of bed. I sit a little bit in bed. I lie in bed, kind of imagining the most perfect day I can imagine, and then I get up, and then I work on this stuff. So, Ethereum. I can never just say Ethereum. I always have to sing it. Ethereum, 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 Ethereum. All right, so Ethereum, higher bottoms, people. The big key is higher bottoms. The support is moving up, right? We have a massive double top, as I've been saying, because it's been a long time. Massive double top, but the bottoms and the patterns are moving up. Do you see this? I mean, it hit all this way down to 134, but it has showed consistently, even though it's been somewhat volatile, some consistent solidity, and the bottoms are all up. And they're still in the process of implementing Byzantium, which happened on Monday. It is Thursday now. They're still working some stuff out. Stuff is still settling. And, you know, we basically had a little bit of boost on Monday or Tuesday because it was going pretty well, and then we had to sell off. But the bottoms are higher. The bottoms are higher, right? With the exception of this one whisker or wick. And those are, you know, you can kind of blend those in, it seems like. All right, so Ethereum's looking good, people. Get you some today. It's at a decent price. I think I bought some at 320, so 306. Pretty good. Pretty good. Let's look at the 1 hour chart. Yeah, not a bad time to get you some in that it's kind of hit the bottom of its range and it's boosting, but it's come back a little bit so you can get in. Good entry point to get some Ethereum. I think it's going to go to 400 because, I mean, it does a lot. Why should it be worth less than fucking Bitcoin Cash, right? I don't get it. Why should it be worth less than actual Bitcoin? Ethereum should be expensive. Ethereum should be $1,000. That's what I think. Because I look at it every day, and I keep learning more and more about it. You know, Litecoin. And again, Litecoin, we're on the 1 hour, so let me get back to the 1 day so I can get a... Yeah, Litecoin is doing the same thing kind of that Dash is doing. It has a channel that it's in. And at some points in the channel, it looks like it's not going anywhere, right? We have these tops. We have 4 tops here, but the bottoms are all higher. And then look, it's just boosted. Boom. And it came back. But the fact is now it's trading up here, right? It's moved up a level. And it's not at my $90 target yet. But I think it's going to get there by December, right? And again, the whole thing that I've discovered in this 90 days is this thing called patience. It's horrible. I hate it. It's like you just got to sometimes wait. You got to take a position and you got to just kind of hold on for the ride. And it's a lot easier than trying to do day trading, really. It is. And it's a lot safer than giving your money to some Ponzi scheme. And I'll say this again. If you've looked into BitConnect, essentially the reason it's a massive Ponzi scheme is because most of the people make their money from getting other people into the program. It is an affiliate pump and dump, really, people. And why? Who are you loaning money to? And why would you give your money to? Why would you take Bitcoin, perfectly good Bitcoin, and turn it into the BitConnect token? Right? But they've managed to hypnotize enough people so that they're literally one of the top coins. But it's not sustainable. It's just not. And the people that have really made their YouTube followings based on that stuff, they're gonna get trashed. People are not gonna like them anymore. So anyway, the get rich quick thing, people, will get you in trouble every goddamn time. It gets me in trouble. And it's humanly good to always look for a faster, easier, better way. That's okay, but we get addicted to that, right? And we get hooked, and it's a hypnotic trance we go into, and we don't think logically anymore, and we believe these stories, and we get sucked in. And so be careful, people. Litecoin, on the other hand, is pretty steady, pretty dependable, and I think a good choice for everyday money when we get to the mass adoption world. Because it works, transaction times are fast, has decent volume, it charts nicely. It's just going up, right? But it's doing it somewhat predictably. And look at all the opportunities you had to get this, you know. You have a top here, then it comes back, you could have gotten a ton of it. Then we had this big boost, so you know there's life in the girl, and then we had this top, and this time you could have just stocked up on it, right? But what happens is when it does patterns like this, people go, oh, nothing's happening. Well, yeah, something's happening. It's like time to buy, right? So keep that in mind. Let's now proceed forthwith to the 1 hour chart of Litecoin. And you can see there's a lot of life in her, a lot of green, a lot of boost. There's some profit taking as well. But we're up to 61. Well, 60 actually. 60 and change. Okay? So that's good. I think Litecoin is getting ready. And I think it's just going to keep doing this. It's going to just keep going up this channel, you know, shoot in between. It's going to just kind of do its thing. But in a couple of weeks, it'll be in the 70s, right? And then in a couple of weeks, it'll be in the 80s. And eventually, it will be in the 90s. Because it will test this top, and we'll probably have multiple tops when we test this big barrier at 90, 95, 100, somewhere in there. All right? Let's look at Omise Go real quick. And again, solid support at the 7.1-ish area. 7.3. Just this whole block here. It's all like, what's it sitting on? It's sitting on support. Interesting. Omise Go. And that project is still developing, I guess. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Keeping an eye on them. Monero, staying in its little sideways channel. Still doing it. Interesting. It's going to boost at some point. But at the moment, good time to get you some Monero if you are so inclined. And that's it for the big boys. Let's go over to Bittrex. And let's look at Quantum. Shazupi. I found another place where there's a quantum chart, thanks to one of my wonderful commenters. And I went there. It's on my other computer, and I just don't like it as much as the Coinage charts. I don't know. I really like these charts. And eventually they'll have a Qtum US dollar chart. But at the moment, this is the Bitcoin version. So if Bitcoin's boosting, it's going to make Quantum look like it's not so good. Do you understand? But it's been pretty steady on the yeah, it's back to number 8. It's $11.50. Let me just hit refresh because sometimes this chart gets stuck. All right, so Quantum moved to number 7 again, right? Its volume is boosting. And Litecoin has moved past Bitcoin Cash at the moment for 24-hour volume. You know, and Ripple is doing pretty well. Ripple is actually out there doing some stuff. You know, they're getting banks to sign on. So I think, you know, the top 10 is definitely worth checking into. Although I do not own any Ethereum Classic. Not interested in it. Dash, Monero. You know, there's a lot going on and a lot all the time, and it's hard to keep up with it. And so I think that's it for today. Just checking in. This is just a check-in. I do it every day. And hopefully I can entertain you a little bit. Hopefully I can flap my gums a little bit and bring to you the perspective of I am a student of the human mind. And I've been a practicing hypnotherapist since 2003. But most hypnotherapists have like a weekend of training. I have a lot more training. I'm also a certified master practitioner and a trainer of neuro-linguistic programming, Ericksonian hypnosis, a bunch of different kinds of hypnosis, and among which are, you know, in Ericksonian hypnosis, we tell stories. So if you go back and look at some of my previous morning cryptos, you might realize that essentially this is my hypnosis session for the day. This is me doing my own self-hypnosis, looking at the markets, deciding what I want to do and how I want to do it and what's going on, using the charts as a meditation tool to bring me to reality, right? I know what I want. Like, for example, with Litecoin, you know, I want it to go to 90. I think I have a sell stop at 91, you know, 91 something. And I want that to happen. That's me being attached, right? But then when I let go of that attachment and go, okay, well, it's not there yet, I don't even think about it. I just put it in place. I automated it, right? So it's just going to happen. I've decided how much I want to take in profits. The rest I'm going to keep holding. And because I think you do need to take some profits occasionally so you can fill the reward centers in your brain. This is like a video game. And if you don't get some extra health every once in a while, if you don't get some extra points every once in a while, if you can't see where you stand, right, or where your balance is in a video game, you'll lose interest. But this has everything that you need to stimulate the human brain. Or at least the male human brain. There are mostly men in this space, but there are some women as well. But there's something distinctly testosterone fueled with the whole cryptos. I think that's okay. I think men need something to test their spirit against, and their wits, their mettle, whether or not they can be long-term thinkers or whether they're short-term freaker-outers, right? It's the ability to take a cold shower, right? A lot of times with these markets, it moves against you, or it seems to move against you. Like Litecoin, I was planning on taking profits when it got to 100, right, back here, and poof, the market had other ideas. The world had a different plan, right? It wasn't my plan. And it's just being able to respond appropriately instead of reactively. It's being willing to respond resourcefully instead of reactively. That's what I wanted to say. It's the ability to respond resourcefully and to adjust or hold, to be able to filter the information to the point where you're like, yeah, that's just a normal Bitcoin correction. What we had, you know, here in the last 3-4 days is literally just a Bitcoin consolidation and correction, but the people who don't know go, oh, it just crashed. It didn't fucking crash. This is not a crash, people, right? This is not a crash. So definitely check out that article over here, how the Bitcoin bubble will pop. If Bitcoin is a bubble, so is everything else. Really good article, and I think you will be able to put it into perspective. Also, Richard Hart did a really good, when Bitcoin hit 5,200, he did a nice broadcast. So check out Richard Hart, Bitcoin at 5,200. There's some long-term thinking there, and I think it's just healthy to see kind of both sides of that debate, or at least two different voices other than mine. And I think the other thing, the last thing I want to leave you with today is be careful who you listen to, right? If someone is making the majority of their money from affiliate commissions and they're pushing high yield investment programs or hypes like BitConnect, and if you look earlier in my 90-day challenge, if you dig back into my videos, you'll see that I was involved with a whole bunch of them. Mostly because I didn't know any better, and I'm like, I'm doing this challenge. I might as well jump in and get the experience and put it on camera so that people can see, right? So that's really, hopefully, something that I can contribute in a way that will save people a lot of money. But most people want to hear get-rich-quick stories. They want to see a 16-year-old or now 17-year-old crypto Nick. He's made hundreds of thousands of dollars. He's 17 years old, but he's made all that money in BitConnect. And it hasn't failed yet, but it will, right? So now people like Jamie Dimon say Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme and it's going to fail, but it's not. It's not because it's fucking huge and it's pretty decentralized and it'll be here tomorrow. You know Bitcoin's going to be here tomorrow. They can't get rid of it. It's not going anywhere, right? And it's the main store of value. Why is it the main store of value? Because it's the main store of value. That's why. Because people all over the world are using it, and they're not using the other currencies yet the way they will at some point. So Bitcoin's the action. It's not perfect, but it's getting better. It's messy. It's decentralization is its greatest asset and its greatest flaw. However, it has not crashed. The bubble has not burst. It continues. So that's it for today. My name is Mark Shepard. This has been The Morning Cryptos in my 90-day project that I originally called The Hypnosis of Money, but that kind of became the Crypto Cranker's Guide to the Bitcoin Galaxy of Greed and Grooviness. And we'll see where we are tomorrow at this time. Thanks so much. Start the music. I will see you in the next one.